Hey out there, thank you for clicking on the video. My name is James Caldwell, and I am so happy to be talking to you guys again. This is part of our series, which is called I'm Just Saying. I'm just saying. Tonight, there was actually a telecast of the 45th annual NAACP Awards. So I was very excited to actually see what was going on. Tonight was the very first time in all these years that there was actually a live telecast done. It was done by TV One, and they also hosted a red carpet event as well. So that's actually what I'm going to talk about, the fashions and things that were actually on the red carpet. And just some of the foolery that I actually caught up with that was actually going on the red carpet. You know, I was going to call them out on it. So let's just get into some of the fashions. I get all excited. I got to see some people that I really love to see. Some people just get it right all the time, and some people just kind of don't. Strangely enough, on the red carpet, I did see Terry Crews, which is the real silly the he's real silly and he does all the commercials with some of the Old Spice and all of that stuff. Um, Terry Crews was on the red carpet. He looked okay until I looked down and I seen he had this Michael Jackson off the wall cummerbund, and I just kind of looked at it and said, okay, but his wife saved him because Rebecca Cruz was done. She was done. Rebecca Cruz had on a black lace with the nude illusion underneath. It was more, I wouldn't say nude illusion, it was more of a skin tone, but not the sheer look, but it was gave you the effect of the black lace. Very fitted. It was a perfect fit down with the fluted bottom. Um, Perfect fit, perfect length, and her hair was dyed platinum to perfection. So she made up for his "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." She made up for that because that was horrible. That collarbone was just horrible. But they are really a good looking couple, very good looking couple. Um, so I enjoyed them. Forrest Whitaker and his wife. His wife had a beautiful gown on, which was beaded at the top, and the beads went down toward the bottom, and then it just was like it was that nude color. I don't know what that was all about. Everybody was really into this nude color gown, but on her it looked really, really good, very good fit, and she wore it very well. um, Forrest Whitaker, Forrest Whitaker's Forrest Whitaker, but his wife looked really good. Gail King surprised me. Gail King was on the red carpet. Gail had a simple white, it was a silk gown with a front slit. She had a white satin peep toe pump, and it had this white sash that actually attached at the center front of the gown. Very simple, very age appropriate. Gail's hair was just Gail. Her hair is always the same. She had her little sauvage going on, and that was cute. That's Gail. But the gown, she really looked good. Gail looked good tonight. I was impressed. I said, "You go on, Gail, with your white gown. She looked good. That was really cute." The Queen was on. Miss Oprah. Oprah graced the red carpet. She actually brought one of her girls. She has 17 girls that are here from Africa that are she's sponsoring to go to college. She actually brought one of the girl, beautiful young lady. She brought with her. She had a white black dress on. She looked really nice. Um, Oprah, I just won't. I'm not going to do that with Oprah. I loved how comfortable she looked, and I'll just leave it at that. Anthony Anderson. Anthony Anderson, let's jump to a man. Anthony Anderson actually hit the red carpet, and he was clean as hell. He had like a light gray suit that he actually paired up with a salmon colored shirt, and he had the tie that had the salmon and the gray together. Clean. He was clean. He was really clean. He looks really nice because he went through a period where he lost a whole lot of weight, so he's been actually keeping that weight off, and he really looks good. I thought that was really, really cool. And then he wore something totally different. Whenever the show started, he had this bad black tux on and it was actually accentuated very strategically with satin lapels and satin. There was a little satin strip right at the shoulder where the arm meets the jacket. Really sharp, looked really good on him. Um, they had him dressed. He was done. He was really done. He looked good. He looked good. Uh, by far, Idris Elba was pretty daggone clean as well. Idris Elba had on uh, a fitted black tux, and he had a white shirt, black bow tie. He looked really, really good. And the thing, I don't generally like these tapered leg pants on the men with these tucks, but they looked really, really good on him. And the thing, he's really tall, so that kind of it worked. He looked really good. Then he had these bad uh, patent leather uh, loafers on, and they were kind of a pointed toe, but then they were squared off at the top. They were pretty sharp. So Idris was looking really, really, really good out there on the red carpet. I was impressed. I enjoyed it. I said that's cool. Um, let's see who else. Nicole Behari from Sleepy Hollow. She's the cop, the female cop, black girl from Sleepy Hollow. Awful. Awful, 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 awful. I don't know what possessed her to do her own hair, because this is what it looks like. It started off, she did her own hair, so it was kind of fucked up in the beginning anyway. And then it looks like she got in a fight right before she got on stage, and then just rolled on out with it. Her dress wasn't a bad dress. It was like sequin sleeves, and then the rest of the dress was doing something else. The dress, we could have excused the dress had her hair been done, but her hair was just a mess. You just couldn't even get around it. Her hair was a mess. The hair literally killed the whole look. Like I said, we could have let her make it on the dress had her hair been done in something fabulous, but her hair was just a damn mess. Um, Ben Vereen. I seen Ben Vereen out there. Ben Vereen had on a white, uh, I'm going to call it a cocktail suit. It was a white cocktail suit, because you can't convince me that he didn't have a lunch date with Diane Carroll and Joan Collins coming up. It was this white cocktail suit. It had the Mandarin collar and the rhinestone buttons. I said, all right, Ben Vereen, you better let him have it. It was colorful, to say the least. It was colorful. Again, he's a legend, so I'm just not going to do all that with Ben. But it was interesting. Cocktail suit, very dynasty. Now, by far, I'd have to say my best dressed male on the carpet would actually be Dennis Haysbert, which is the Allstate guy. We all know him from The Voice, from the Allstate commercials. And he was also, if you remember back, he was Whitney's married man on Waiting to Exhale. He was clean. He was clean, clean, clean. He had a really nice navy tux, and he looked really good. You know, he's tall. He's a good looking man. He navy tux, and down to the shoes, they were navy. They were velvet. They were velvet. Clean, clean, clean. Um, by far, my best dressed male. I'd have to put him down as my best dressed male. My best dressed female. I'm going to have to go, because she just gets it right every time. She really does. Uh, Lupita Nyong'o from 12 Days a Slave. Please. That's all I can say. Whenever I seen her hit the carpet, I was like, this child got it right yet again. She got it right yet again. She had on a tan leather, and I'm going to say structured bondage type of bodice. It was overlaid on top of a true light orange. It wrapped around her waist in sort of like a cummerbund that was all leather to the waist. It had a décolleté. It was just enough skin showing, just enough of the boob showing, It was perfect. I mean, the fit was just perfect. And then from her waist down, it still went along with the orange underlay, but it was pleated chiffon all the way down to the hemline. And it was just, the police said it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I love the fact that it didn't go all the way to the ground. She wasn't tripping on it. She wasn't grabbing it. It literally hit her. It wasn't at her ankle. It was literally, her gown was right there at the about 2 inches below where her heel connects to her actual shoe. Perfect, 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 perfect. She got it right. Now, let me tell you something about Lupita. Lupita, this child, like I said, she gets it right all the time. Baby, her hair is just nappy. I mean, there ain't no way to get around it. This child's hair is just nappy. I don't know what that whole thing's about. But again, remember, she's African. Her hair's nappy, so it's very natural. She had this part down the middle. That hair, I said, I don't know what that's about. But that again, that's her thing. Her face is always pretty much kind of greasy, you know. And I don't know, but the thing is, something about her, you just can't read it. It's like she fried the chicken right before she put her dress on, but we gonna let her go because the bitch just made it. It's just right. It's so wrong, but it's so right. Greasy face, nappy hair, but so right. The perfect shoe, the perfect bag. She had one gold cuff on and a simple dangled earring, and then she had a chocolate and tan leather clutch. So wrong, but so right. That Lapita, and she always gets it right. Always gets it right. She was my best dress. My worst dress was, and I hate to say this because I really like her. Regina King looked an absolute damn mess. A mess. I looked at her and I said, did somebody not tell her that Coven actually went off the air? They wrapped up. They did their finale. She was dressed in this black satin gown. She looked like the leader of some witches from somewhere. And it had the mermaid tail, and it had tulle at the bottom, and then it had a piece cut open in the front, and the fit was ill, and it just wasn't right, and it had a piece of a cape hanging on one side. It was just too goddamn much. And then there's these two little silver pieces that are holding the front together, and it's literally squeezing her to the point where her skin is literally bucking out of it. It was a mess. It was a mess. And then around in her midsection, it was giving her, a little pooch. And Regina King is built very nice. She don't have all this. This dress, the fit was just wrong. The dress itself, the design was just wrong. It was not for a red carpet unless you were going to the Bad Bitches Witches Ball or something. It was just all wrong. And then on top of that, her hair was literally pulled back and a side bang like she's on her way to work. Goddamn mess. That was by far my worst dress, and I was sad because I really like Regina. But sometimes them clothes, she doesn't always get it right. But that was horrible. Just absolutely horrible. Tika Sumter looked kind of nice too. She actually came to the awards and she was with Tyler Perry. She had this white bias cut silk gown, very pretty. But Tika Sumter, she always kind of looks like a black Barbie doll, so she looked really good too. But now let me go into, because we're already 14 minutes in here, just some of the foolishness that actually went into the red carpet itself and where they need to work on. On this red carpet, they actually had a male and a female. Kevin Frazier, if you will. He was on. He casket sharp. He was casket sharp. He had a suit that was just boring. It didn't mean anything. It didn't remind me of anything other than a funeral. It was just really pretty much a waste. He could have had on a sweatsuit. And then his counterpart was Tanika Ray. She she had a red gown on. The color red wasn't really good for her. It was really drab. It was a one shoulder kind of frock. The fit was ill fitting. Just again, nothing really memorable. Her hair, she did that herself. She did the little, I went in the shower, washed this, some set lotion, and she might have diffused it and pumped it on out of the house. Just really forgettable. But their performance on the red carpet was what was questionable. So I don't know that we need to have those two come back next year. Um, Whereas I told you my best dressed male was Dennis Haysbert. Lord knows this fool Kevin Frazier goes into this whole thing where now he's going to school the people live on television about how the first tuxedo was actually blue. Okay, that's cute. That's fine. So you think you're dropping, some knowledge on everybody. Then he turns around and he says, and look down at the suede shoes. And Dennis Haber says, oh, no, these are velvet. I said, boom, that just blew up in your face. You thought you were schooling the people, and here it is. That blew up in his face. It was ridiculous. That was in the literally, first 3-4 minutes of the carpet. I said, oh, is this what we have to look forward to? And Lord knows, they didn't disappoint. This is basically where it went. It was really a mess. For some reason, goofy ass Tamika just decides that she's going to keep, and she did it 3 times, keep referring back to Tika Sumter's gown as lingerie. And I'm like, is she think she's reading? Or, I mean, I hope she doesn't think that was like a compliment. It was that very Harlem Nights, Jasmine Guy, her part that she played, esque type of gown. It was gorgeous. But to keep, she called it a negligee. Can we find that in the lingerie section? I was like, okay, bitch. Now, if I was Tika, I'd have been like, she's trying it. She's trying it. But I was just like, some things. Then she actually stepped out of line, and literally, I thought it was so tacky. She was interviewing Morris Chestnut and his wife, and then all of a sudden, it just swings right over. And now she's talking underneath his clothes. She's talking about his abs and all this here. I thought that was very tacky. If he'd have been on the red carpet by himself, then maybe I could have let her make it. But, pardon me, to talk underneath his clothes with his wife standing there was just ridiculous. Ed Asner actually came on and talked to Kevin Frazier, and I don't know what that whole thing was about. It was ridiculous. Ed Asner's trying to crack some corny offside joke about slaves, and it just didn't go over well, and the joke kind of came up like, oh, some of my best friends are black, one of those kind of things. And we're going to go ahead and give him a pass because I think he got a little touch of Alzheimer. He didn't know where the hell he was anyway, so it really didn't make a difference. Just a couple things they did that were just a little questionable, and I just couldn't get it. Child Tamika called Ben Vereen. Just a mess. Just a mess. But there's some, they got some things to work on. And I'm sure if we could just replace those two, I don't even think we need to give them another chance. Just replace them two next year for the red carpet. It should be okay. But all in all, I watched it. I was a little underwhelmed. I just didn't think that the black folks came out with their A game. I was like, really, it was really not a lot of fashion for me to really scream at. I was like, come on, guys, this is the time. This was the time to bring your A game out. And I just don't think they did it. But all in all, it was a first try. So we can only go up from here. So that was it. I just wanted to talk about the red carpet. And again, I'm just saying, if you agree, feel free to comment. If you disagree, feel free to comment. I love to hear what you guys have to say. You always enlighten me. So on that note, I'm going to log off, and I will talk to you guys soon.